Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Love Wins Live Forum. I'm Rana Kapili Bonifacio, Editor-in-Chief of Inspirations.ph, and we're so glad you're joining us this morning. Of course, with me is Managing Director of Themes and Motives, Ms. Sharon Fabian. Good morning, Ms. Sharon. How are you?
Yes, good morning, Rana. I'm good, and I'm glad to be back on air live with you again. I'm so excited to have this session this morning kasi powerhouse cast tayo.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would just like to share that I'm really very happy because yesterday we were able to open successfully Bride and Groom Blowout 2021, the online bridal fair. So a lot of activities ang nangyari this week. So nakakatuwa because it's again another step towards hashtag tuloy ang kasal. And the entire week we've been seeing weddings happening and a testament that truly love wins. And I know that you've attended your first, tama ba?
I
First
did.
wedding the past week.
I did. Actually, technically, I did too. So I had an on-site wedding last Sunday. It was my first one. And then yesterday was my first live stream wedding of my kabarkada, our last member of our group to finally get married. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Del Rosario.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, best wishes. And it was so great to be with people from the wedding industry. I mean, I was able to see some of our friends at the wedding last week when I went to the on-site, and just how they're so happy to be doing weddings again and really supporting couples and seeing them get their happy beginnings. There's still nothing quite like it, no? Still nothing quite like seeing a bride and groom be pronounced and the marital bliss on their faces. Talagang it's I'm so excited to see that weddings are getting back on track, and beautiful weddings at that. And that's also why we have these guests this morning, the powerhouse that we've been talking about. Of course, we've been saying that your wedding can go on, your beautiful dream wedding can go on, maybe with a smaller guest list, but definitely still beautiful, definitely still memorable, and as we always say here at the Love Wins Live Forum, definitely safe. Okay, so without further ado, I think we're going to call on our guests, correct, Ms. Sharon?
Yes. Yeah, we'd like to call them in because I'm sure, di ba, Rona and I can share our experience dun sa mga weddings pandemic weddings that we've already attended. But these people, they've been in the industry long enough that they've seen so many weddings, different kinds, and throughout the years, nag-iba-iba ang mga trends.
Yeah.
And given their experience, yan, gusto na natin sila tawagin because they will be sharing with us how they see weddings happening now in 2021 and beyond, no? Now that we're in a pandemic and as we mark the end of the pandemic because of the vaccines na worldwide, nagsistart na sila, and hopefully we will have ours soon. How do they see our industry and of course the couples? Ito bang intimate trend na to? Is it something that the couples will learn to embrace even after the post-pandemic era? So let's call them in. Please do the honors, Rana.
Yes, of course. We have four wedding industry experts with us this morning. And first off, let me call the Director of Sales and Marketing for City of Dreams Manila. Of course, she handles Hyatt Regency Manila, Nobu Hotel Manila, and Nua Hotel Manila. Jenny Gabon Santillan is with us this morning. And
Good morning.
Also, event stylist. Good morning, Miss Jenny. Good morning.
Good morning, Rona. Good morning, Sharon.
We also have event stylist, none other than Joe Claravall, with us this morning behind beautiful weddings that we see online.
Good morning, ladies. Hi, Rona. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, and
hello.
No guest to Love Wins Live Forum, Miss Charisse Tinio of Nice Print Photography.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Good morning, Char.
And last but definitely not the least, wedding gown bridal designer Francis Libiran, who needs really no introduction.
Good morning, Rona. Good morning, Sharon. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend. Good morning, Francis. Wow, I am in awe. I am in the presence of the great industry leaders.
Great.
Thank you
Diba?
Yes,
for
and that
inviting us.
Grabe ang energy.
oo. And that is
Yes.
why if you have a question for any of our four guests this morning, please do comment so that we can pull it up. And there's no better brains to pick when we're talking about weddings than these set of brains. So
Yeah.
before we get our questions now, let me get started with a question, which is, do you see intimate weddings being the trend this 2021, this entire year? Miss Jenny, of course, of City of Hope,
Yes.
Manila. You may start.
Definitely, Rona. Definitely. This is something that we've been working on since December of last year. We were anticipating that people will really go towards intimate wedding because we all know that the pandemic is very limiting now. But this is the trend. About 30 to 50 people, just close friends and family. And I've seen a lot of couples who were able to pull it off. And it came out really beautiful.
And I think I've been hearing this, through our guests and also even the couples we featured, that they would say in Tagalog, they would say mas ramdam daw ang intimate.
Yes, true. True,
Uh, all the
true.
feels, kumbaga nga, as the youngins would say, all the feels.
Yeah.
Miss Jo, is the event styling, is it something that's changing when it comes to intimate weddings? Are you able to put in more personal details?
I think the most important things are the personal details because I think I know the focus has been shifted from the big picture to the most intimate of settings, right now. So I think the finer the details, the smaller the gesture is the most important touches, I think, done to a wedding.
It's true. Mhm.
And this is something that brides and grooms are looking for.
For sure.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, whether it's outside or I think now there are less weddings that are being done at home. No, I think
Yeah.
everybody is really doing their weddings now in venues or um, outside of the homes, just because of we're able to do 30 or 50 guests
Yeah, I
now.
think the pivot has now changed. Small restaurants and homes have transformed are now used as wedding venues. People are excited to make them as an intimate venue for their weddings.
Yes.
Yeah. How about for Francis?
Mhm.
Have you been doing intimate weddings also this past couple of months? And how is it shifting your designs?
You know what, Rona, ever since the lockdown, we saw the trend already that weddings will be very intimate and low scale. So we at Francis Libiran, we tried to design something for that one, a smaller scale gown, wherein the bride is comfortable to move around with a small number of guests, and for the grooms also, it's more a bit toned down. So it gave
Mhm.
the Filipino brides and grooms that they could still celebrate their weddings in a smaller scale and very intimate, and yet it's still fun.
That's true.
So we don't have a lot of those big gowns anymore. You don't get a lot of inquiries for that, Francis.
Yes, what we did is we really created, it's called Simply by Francis Libiran. So no embellishments at all, very simple and very toned down. So there's lumaki yung market for that one eh.
Okay.
Kasi for the past years we see a lot of huge gowns, and
Right, right.
it's over the top, and it
That's true.
became para bang a total shift of the gowns are very simple, like it's just like a white dress if you look at it, but
Dress.
it's something refreshing and very nice to look at because it's very simple. We're so used to this type of gowns that it must be big, it must be grand. Now
Right.
we see that there's a very para bang ano ba, parang westernized na nga because it's so simple.
Right.
Mhm.
And they always say, diba, there's beauty in simplicity. And I think that's something, maybe that's really a bit of the change that we've seen in the wedding industry, maybe these past months, right?
And
Sticking
Rona,
to,
that's the hardest to design.
yes,
Oh,
A
absolutely.
simple gown.
And to fit,
How can you
isn't
come
it?
up with something very simple yet there's an impact? So I
elegant.
mean,
Yes,
if
yes.
if you create something that's big and full of embellishments, it's very easy. But doing a simple gown is really challenging.
It's true.
That's
Yeah,
true.
because
And
yeah,
making it look different from, another bride or the next bride, right? You can't
Yeah.
all wear the same simple white gown.
Yes. That's it's very important that we sit down, take time to know the concerns of the bride and what she wants. So that's very important to have that collaboration with the designer and the bride so that the bride will come out really pretty.
Right.
I, yeah, because Francis, I was going to ask that. Ngayon ba mas personalized because as you've said, the designs are simpler. So mas importante ba ngayon that the designer would be really familiar with the bride kasi the big bongga gown, it's easy, di ba? Ang daling lagyan ng
Yeah.
wow factor. So now it's really more, the designer should get to know the client better para yung simple gown would really suit and fit the personality of the bride.
Yes, it's actually Sharon, it's more challenging right now because dahil very simple siya. Siyempre, yung mga concerns ng mga brides, yung mga bulges, mahirap itago. So, we need to we need to be very creative with the cuts just to make sure that
Of
yung
course, yeah.
mga kailangan itago maitago.
So parang ano rin, even sa designer, well, for me, that's an eye-opener because I think in some of the categories in the events industry, alam ko medyo nag-level up yung challenge, no? Especially with sa inyo,
Yeah.
Jenny, no? The
Yes, yes.
hotels, and yung food and beverage industry, even event styling. But I did realize na, oo nga, no, may challenge din for the designers like ni Francis because yun, yung mga details like that na, oo nga, may mga things that you consider when you in making the gown for the bride. Like kung may mga may itatago na na bulges, yung mga ganun. So
Siyempre,
that's
concern yung lahat ng mga brides. They want to look
Right.
very sexy, very
Beautiful.
pretty, beautiful
Mm-mm.
on the day itself. But yet, the requirement is the gown is very simple. So how can you combine both?
It's true.
In a simple gown. Because if it's a beaded gown, ang daling ang daling tapunan ng beadwork yung gown, and it
Yes.
creates an impact already. But if it's a very simple one, how can you? That's the challenging part. How can you make it different from uh, the other bride to this bride? So you really have to be creative and innovative when it comes to doing designing.
Yes.
Of course, I
diba?
think live stream is also one of the biggest trends, and I think not just trend, but I think it's gonna stay for a while. Tama ba, Miss Charisse? I think more and more couples are requiring live stream suppliers or live stream broadcast for their wedding.
Yeah, that's the thing, no? Like, I really think like there's really going to be um a lot of intimate weddings this year, perhaps for the first 3 quarters. And then it's going to be hybrid, meaning there's going to be a mix of physical and live stream
Live stream.
weddings. And that's what we've been doing actually for the past months.
Right.
So, yeah.
Are the programs changing because of hybrid weddings? Because I noticed that obviously if you're doing something like this, like what we're doing, an hour is so jam packed for something that's going on live. I mean, sorry, that's being live streamed versus when you say an hour of a reception, right? I mean, we're very used to 3 hours of reception, diba? Or
Actually, Rona, what happens is more couples would actually opt to have their live stream at the ceremony. I would
Okay.
say maybe 80% would prefer that. Specifically because syempre parang it's more important for them that the guests online would actually watch the mass, no? And
Mhm.
sometimes the couples medyo nahihiya sila kapag ka sa reception kasi they're eating and like
Correct. And the
the
audience
guests
are.
online are not. So parang medyo nadudahid dyan yung mga couples. So it's usually at the ceremony. So in terms of the reception program, it's really not affected in that way. Kasi nga,
Right.
pero in during the times na nasa reception, what happens is nagkakaroon din ng games yung MC nakasali sila online zoomers. That's what we call it, no? So yeah, the people
Online
in the Zoom,
Zoomers.
the online guests are actually part of the games as well. So cute naman, nagiging interactive siya.
Right. And just to break it down, so if you're still planning your wedding, and you don't know or you haven't really figured out how this live stream works, if correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Reeve, when couples live stream their wedding, often this is live streamed into a private Facebook group, right? It's not going
Yes.
to come out in your Facebook profile wall for all your 5,000 friends to see, right?
No,
Mhm.
it's actually in a
So,
closed
Private.
group. Yeah, it's a private link. If it's YouTube, it's an unlisted link. If it's Zoom, naturally there's a password and an ID. And if it's Facebook, it's usually in a closed group. Mm-mm.
right. So just to, uh, in case you are wondering how this happens, because unlike, for example, today, we are, being live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. So anybody who has this link can watch us. But of course, for your wedding, for the sake of privacy, you don't want everybody to just see that, you're crying while you're, doing your vows. Ganyan naman, di ba? But so it's really just for maybe that I think private Facebook groups were already being done in weddings, diba? People would already create these groups to make announcements, right? Like,
Yes.
please go for the wedding, don't forget to wear garden-friendly shoes, that sort of thing. And so now that's where your link goes live when you're doing live stream.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
live stream often has tama ba, multiple camera setups, right? So it's
Yeah.
very much kind of like you're there
It's like
because
it becomes like a same day edit, Rana.
Mhm.
It's just that it's live because there are different camera angles that's being used for the actual live show, no? So yeah, para siyang same day edit slash live on the spot shoot.
Right. And I think what's also great about live streaming your wedding, or this sort of development that's happening with live streaming your wedding, is, let's say, even if or even when, no, okay, let's not say if, even when we have more guests at our wedding, we're still going to be able to invite relatives who are abroad. They're not going to be required to
Correct.
Zoom
Uh-huh.
anymore.
Come here.
Yeah,
For
I
you.
wanted, I wanted to ask Charisse that, Rona. Is this just a trend because we are in a pandemic now, Charisse, or nakikita mo even after the pandemic, this will now be part uh, of any wedding requirement, yung live stream
Um,
component.
I think it's gonna stay for a while. Maybe for the whole year, definitely. Um, there would be a lot of people like in the homecomings that I did, people are always saying that it becomes very inclusive, 'di ba? Parang kahit nga yung mga taga-abroad natutuwa. So yes, people would now that it opened up in a lot of minds na ay pwede naman pala. So I think it's going to stay. I'm not gonna say that 100% will actually get it still
Right.
when the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic is over, but it's going to be an option. It's like an aerial drone or a prenup shoot that it becomes like part of the a la carte
Upgrade.
menu that they actually it becomes an option. Yeah.
Right.
So we will be seeing that as part of the offering of nice print photography with or without the
Correct.
pandemic. No?
Correct.
Yes, yeah, definitely for 2021. We actually came up with a package. Like Francis now, we also shifted and the package that we did for this year, actually already includes a live stream automatically. So at least for 2021, that's something that's really standard that we placed in the package.
So kasama yun. Oh, this is the package that you sent me
Yes.
for the online fair, no? Yung ating bride and groom blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you check out the booth of Nice Print Photography sa ating bride and groom blowout because nandun nakalagay what's inclusive in the package. Yeah. So just visit us at themesandmotives.com. Rana, I have a question for Miss Jenny, City of Dreams. Of course,
Yes.
Jenny, right now we're asking you how you are seeing weddings happening. Pero
Yes.
ako may tanong ako.
Yes.
With so many, well, there is one guideline, no? There is really one guideline. Pero ang daming interpretation. And now
Correct.
mismo, Rana and I have been doing this for several months. Parang we would
Yes.
talk
Yes.
about it, tapos parang after 2 weeks, okay, we will have to do an
Yeah.
episode. Hindi naman to correct, but to share ano yung naging developments. Okay, ito ang tanong ko. City of Dreams. If I'm a bride, or I'm a bride, and I'd like to do my weddings at the City of Dreams, Manila, pwede na ba?
At this time, Sharon, because NCR is still under GCQ and following the guidelines of Department of Tourism, weddings is considered to be non-essential events still. So, hindi pa. But if we have interested brides and groom who would like to reserve, they want to come and visit the property, yes, we are entertaining. We are starting to entertain for a wedding in June, for a wedding in November, for a wedding in December. Because as you know, weddings are not prepared overnight. It would take time for you to come up. Even if it's a simple wedding, it will require time. So as early as now, our events team is ready for our brides and groom. Come and visit us. We can show you the ballroom. We can show you our smaller F&B outlets that you can use for intimate weddings. And that's the reason why I've actually partnered with Francis, Charisse, and Joe. We've been working on a project, but we'll tell you more about it once we're ready, we're open to really sell it. But it's really designed for intimate weddings. It's one-stop shop. It's very economical. So we bear that in mind with the new normal. These are the things that our bride and groom would look for. So while it is not yet open at this time, we are starting to entertain inquiries, and hopefully very soon they can see what we have in store for them. It's a collaboration with Francis, Joe, and Charisse. We're excited to launch it as soon as the time will permit us.
Okay, that's good to know because well, I've heard it through the grapevine. You're really just waiting, eh. Diba?
Yes, we're waiting.
Yes,
We've been waiting.
but when it's okay, City of
Yes,
Dreams
yes.
Manila is ready to
We're
welcome all
ready.
of
We're
us. No?
ready. We're ready. We're looking forward to that day. And hopefully, as you mentioned, with the vaccine being available very soon, sana makarating ng Philippines as soon as possible. We're excited to cater. We've been waiting for this for so long already. We want to welcome brides and groom to the property.
Okay, so definitely ang weddings hindi pa pwede sa City of Dreams, sa ballroom.
Hindi pa muna ngayon because of the GCQ. We have to
But-
adhere to the DOT ruling.
Okay, but if they want to do an ocular, they can.
Yes. They can. Of course, we have very strict protocols on safety and health. We want to make sure that we follow that. My events team are following that religiously. So the brides and grooms are assured that when they come to the property, they're safe. They're safe to check our services. They're safe to check the premises of City of Dreams Manila.
Do they need to set an appointment for that, Jem?
Yes, as much as possible, set an appointment because we don't want to be entertaining several at one time. So very crucial that you advise us ahead of time, and then we can can give you a dedicated events manager who can tour you around the property.
Okay, that's good to know. And I
Yeah.
would just like to add, kay Jenny, they are really prepared and ready, just
Yes,
waiting
yes.
for the go signal. And as a testament of that, City of Dreams Manila has partnered with Themes and Motives. They are a major partner in our ongoing online bridal fair,
Online
the Bride and Groom Blowout,
That's
and they will be raffling off some exciting
yeah.
prizes. At ang grand prize natin, during the closing ceremony on January 31st, would actually be three couples would be given a Valentine's treat.
Pre-Valentine treat. Yes,
Oh,
at the Noble restaurant, no less.
Yeah. So you will have the City of Dreams experience. So, yan, part of the preparation. Kaya talagang
Yes.
naka-prepare na ang City of Dreams. Just
Yes,
waiting
yes,
for the
we're
green
ready.
light.
We're ready.
how many are we
You,
raffling off?
We're raffling off 5. So we have 3
5.
winners. We have 3 winners for pre-Valentine dinner at Nobu Restaurant. And then we have 2, sorry, and then we have 3 winners of F&B credit. This one, they can use it in any F&B outlets of City
Okay,
of
right.
Dreams, Manila. So anim, in fact, Rona,
So
it's
our
Anim.
6.
closing ceremony will be on, Miss Sharon, January
31st. So that's for
31st.
that's for the Valentine's, pre-Valentine's tree. But
Oh,
next week we will have our exhibitors live, the virtual meet and greet for all the participants of Bride and Groom Blowout. We will have our raffle naman doon. That's where we will raffle off the F&B credits naman from City of Dreams Manila.
City of
So
Dreams,
kasi
yes.
wala pa pong buffet, 'di ba? Bawal pa ang
Right.
Wala pang
Yes.
buffet.
So they will
With the
be
new
giving
normal, it's a la carte.
so they will be giving you they will be wrapping up credits, and you can go to the outlets that are already open and use the F&B credits
F&B
na
credit. That's right. That's
that you
right.
will win. So what is important, Jan, is that you should be part of the Themes and Motives database.
Yes.
So couples who are watching now, you have to register. Go to www.themesandmotives.com so that you can be part of the raffle activities of our ongoing bridal fair. And get the chance to win one of the 3 Valentine's treats from City of Dreams.
All right. So if you are still planning your wedding and these heavyweights are in your list, talagang your dream wedding, I would highly advise you to, of course, sign up at the Bride and Groom Blowout 2021. So that number one, you can get a chance to win the raffle, and then if you do win the raffle, you'll be able to see for yourself just how ready and how safe it is in City of Dreams, Manila, and of course how delicious the food is. I will testify to how delicious the food is at Nobu. My family loves it there, and then later on, you can, of course, contact City of Dreams Manila if you'd like to book or inquire for the wedding package that they are preparing for intimate weddings this year. If I were getting married, it would be such a pleasure and such an honor to have, of course, Nice Print, Francis Libiran, and Joe Claravall, and of course, City of Dreams Manila doing my wedding. That would totally be my dream wedding. And so we are looking forward for City of Dreams to open its doors and be able to do its weddings in this capacity. I have a question for Joe, if that's okay.
Yes.
And we're seeing, in the beginning, we thought that event styling would be a little bit pared down. Alam mo yun, it would be a little. Oh, now I'm so distracted by the little puppy. That it would be.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's super cute. Go ahead. But we see that couples are still doing their wedding. The way they envisioned it, talagang the way they would have their Pinterest boards, right? We're still seeing that. But what are the trends we're going to see when it comes to styling? I see that a lot of couples are doing a lot of dried flower arrangements mixed with fresh flowers. Are we also seeing more of local blooms? What would you say are couples leaning towards?
I think it's all about sustainability and what's practical right now. And the times are changed. So, dried flowers are great because, they'll last you a lifetime. If you want to have souvenirs from your wedding, you can probably keep those. And, um, people just, I think like Francis, this whole industry has been cleansed also by the pandemic. But you want to simplify also. You want to make sure that your wedding is down to the details. And diba, if you invite people, it's people you love, diba? So I guess if you make it beautiful, then parang walang problema dun because it is your wedding and you've been planning this your whole life. So parang if you want to make it as beautiful as you want it to be, then go ahead.
Yeah. Are they leaning towards color? Are they leaning towards neutrals? Is it the Pantone 2021 which I am trying to wear this morning?
Well, I guess
Yellow.
yellow, diba? But before yellow was so unpopular, diba? But I guess I
Yeah.
hope it becomes a trend because it's
It's
such
a
a happy
happy.
color, diba? It's so happy. Parang
Yes.
we're all so sick and tired of just being at home and suffering through this pandemic. Let's make it happy. Let's make our weddings happy.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's what you're going to get, of course, if you're working with these wedding suppliers this morning, is not just the expertise, the years of experience that they've had, and knowing that what you want, what brides and grooms want, but also just being able to bring the couple the joy, bring back the joy of this is a once in a lifetime moment. Let's go for it, right? Let's celebrate. With you're doing weddings, of course, this entire year for everybody, right? For 2021, and I know that there are more couples who are um, kind of how do you put it? The I think people now aren't putting brakes on this celebration. Right now, it's like it's we don't know when we're going to be able to have 100% seating capacity, right? So I'm not gonna wait for that. I'd prefer for my marriage to begin, and we love that. But when it comes to um, weddings and planning all of these things, what would you say to brides and grooms these days? Where are they at? Are they I think last year, there was a lot of couples who we had to kind of remind that, this is still your dream wedding, even if things are changing. But now, people who are
Well,
getting married are people who have gotten engaged in the pandemic. 'Di ba? Hindi na sila yung na
wedding tour.
curveball. Oo, 'di ba? Hindi na yun yung curveball. But ngayon, they coming in knowing that this is the situation. So what's your advice for brides and grooms?
Well, di ba in the beginning, we said postpone, don't cancel love, di ba? Para now, you just do it safe. Get tested, get swabbed, do those things that plan your guest list very well so that the styling can follow also. Simplify, I think that's good. There's nothing wrong with being simple. I think simple is best at this
It's
point. Kasi nga,
yes.
we all need to be safe also. But also, don't let that stop you from having your dream wedding. If you want to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wedding, go ahead. Because you do this once in a lifetime. And our packaging at Nubu will allow you to do that. I mean, Zenny has talked about it. Francis came up with this package with discounts. Charisse also. So we're helping brides to have the most beautiful wedding throughout this season.
Okay. Mr. Reese, any advice you would give brides and grooms?
Yeah, I've actually been telling my brides, no, that it's a bit tougher to get married these days, right? With all the protocols and the adjustments, but it is very much doable. You can still have your dream wedding, and I've been covering so many weddings the past months. Um, Parang somehow I feel like the couples have really adjusted to
Right.
the current new normal. Hindi na sila yung nagpapangarap ng 1,000 guests at this
Right.
point. Wala nang ganong illusion muna. They know that it's going to be intimate. They know that it's going to be, a bit simpler but still beautiful. And nag-adjust na rin yung mindset ng mga tao. Like, ngayon nga, pag nakita mo sa mga feeds, no? Pag nakakita ka ng sobrang bonggang setup na, like, the usual, pre-pandemic, you'd feel like, ano to? Throwback ba to? Diba? Parang,
Right.
parang ganun, diba, Joe? Parang
Oo,
yung mata
well,
natin, gusto na yun nga, like what Francis said,
refreshing, yeah.
mas very refreshing, no? Yung simpler, detailed, and,
Approach.
just just really, really classic and beautiful. And I always tell my brides and grooms as well that, you know, tama naman, talagang love wins. And there might be adjustments along the way, right? All throughout your planning. But if you're really dead set on getting married this year, it will happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
ganun lang yun
that's
eh.
true.
May konting adjustment, lipat dito ng konting, alam mo yun, konting trim down ng guest or what have you, but it will happen. So, masaya kasi naiiba yung mga weddings this year. But nevertheless, it's still as special, as beautiful, and as perfect as it could be.
I have for each for every one of you, I have a question. Syempre pag kinasal ka first time, I mean, most of the time, first time bride and groom yan, di ba? Most of the time. Okay, so, ang
Isang
question ko,
beses lang, Sharon, ha?
ideally, di ba? Ideally once in a lifetime, di ba?
That's
So,
true.
okay, so wala kang idea on how to go about it. And most likely, if you'll ask your family members, and yung last na kinasal is pre-pandemic. So, iba, walang experience ng what's happening now. So if I were a bride to be and I've gotten engaged during the holidays because as we've seen, Rana, no, the feature, may mga features kami sa inspirations.ph, ang daming proposals na nangyari during the
Yes.
pandemic. Okay, so, excited to plan for a wedding sila. But,
That's true.
hindi nila alam where to start because if they probably would ask if they have an older sibling who got married 2019, 2018, ibang-iba na ngayon. So,
Correct.
each one of you take me through the experience. Let's say Francis, I'm sure you've set different protocols na ngayon. If they want to set an appointment with you or if they want to go to your shop. So what is the experience like now? Like if I go to Nice Print, ano yung mga expectations? And also with you, Jo. And yun, Jenny, I'm sure kasama to dun sa inyong preparation, no?
Yeah.
Step 1, step 2.
Preparation.
Pupunta ako sa
You know what,
Philippines.
Sharon? What we did, pinag-aralan namin, of course, it's still a different experience when a bride and a groom comes to you for an appointment. Iba pa rin yung face-to-face encounter with them.
Personal
Diba?
touch.
So we made sure we have an online mga Zoom meetings when it comes to our brides and grooms. So what we do is we try to have a pre-interview on sa phone, asking them their motive, yung mga gusto nilang i-ano. Tapos sometimes what we do is we send the fabrics to them so they have the touch feel of the fabric that I'm explaining. So we need to create that kasi experience with them at this time. You know, ngayon nga parang mas naging creative kami when it comes to the experience because we have to make do of what we have right now. You know, Zoom meetings are so important, but at the same time, they can touch the fabric. Diba? So,
Yes.
padadala na lang namin yung mga fabric sa kanila para pag ine-explain ko sa kanila, ito pala yun, ito pala yan. So, even for fittings, sometimes there a lot of brides and grooms are so afraid to go out of the house. So what we do is we send our staff fully geared with PPEs, face shields, and masks, and then we do a Zoom fitting. So the experience is still there. We try to create the solutions to the problems right now, but it's really about innovating your services when it comes to the brides and grooms. That's very important. You know, you cannot just sit down and say, parang pababayaan ko na lang itong matapos. You have to make do of what you have right now and try to innovate it so that business will run, and at the same time your brides and grooms will be happy about your services.
Yeah. For you, Jo, what is the experience like? If I want to book you for my wedding, ano ba ang steps to take?
I guess Francis has said the most essential part, online. Everything has shifted online. So parang it's also good kasi mas mabilis right now. Parang people are just, connected. It's a click, you're a click away. And anytime they need your help, anytime they need your to ask questions, it's easy. Parang before we had to brace traffic, diba? We all had to go to a certain location and just it eats a time. Now parang you can meet like 3-4 clients at a time. But simply we're all waiting for the time that the weddings will happen again. So we're all preparing until that day comes, well, when the ballrooms open at City of Dreams and everyone else opens their doors. We're all ready. Pero right now, as you all said earlier, we're at the planning stages. So, the Zoom meetings, and then I guess, if we have to have an ocular, we'll do an ocular with the clients. I think there's a little bit of a personal touch pa rin, but not as much.
Yeah.
But I think as human beings, we all need personal touches, diba? We all need to be connected in one way or another. So I think that's what I'm seeing. And also, when you do them on the styling at the venue, I think, you forget the pandemic with candles and flowers. You really do. Diba? Parang candles and flowers heal you eh. Diba? So
Yes.
I think that when you celebrate, when the flowers are there, when you see the bride, the groom, parang they're all in love, everyone's centered around the couple, it's just such a magical feeling. Parang it takes you back to pre-pandemic, which we all, I think, are craving for. Diba?
Yeah. And I guess for brides and grooms, it's such a treat to give to your closest family and friends, right? A couple of hours just to kind of be like, let's kind of, set aside the worries and let's take in this moment of love, of friendship, of family, and delicious food, right?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, that's how I felt when I went to my first pandemic wedding. I was like, nakakamiss din to celebrate with other people na I can't touch them, but at least I can, give these big waves as opposed to, may eternal finger hearts on Zoom. Iba pa rin talaga
And
yung
Rona,
air kiss, right?
Rona, it's also challenging for the guests how to dress up in front of a Zoom party. How do they dress up as a guest
Right.
in a Zoom party? So you have to really, para bang ang nakita lang sa'yo dyan is this part. So you have to this part in order to be, it's a respect for the bride and groom also to dress up in a Zoom wedding. So if you look at it, you have to wear makeup, be your best self. It's like you're attending a wedding. So challenging rin yung ngayon eh. So sometimes you have to give that idea to the brides and grooms that how can you tell your guests that to dress up for that Zoom wedding?
Right.
It's giving them guidelines also and guide them like the color theme so that they feel part of the wedding. It's all about experience and creating that for them.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just uplifting your own mood. Diba? I
Yes.
don't know if this is something, for me, this is the power of dressing up, no? Yung talagang, because you're so sick and tired of working from home.
Pajama.
I would always tell my
Tuwa na tayo
friends,
sa pajamas natin.
Pati
wear
mask.
lipstick,
Ay,
diba?
bida
Put
pa
on your
na.
favorite jewelry. Go for it. I don't care if nobody
Yes,
sees you.
true.
But
Yeah.
it puts you in a state of mind, right? And I guess it's the same as a wedding guest. And that's something, if you are planning your wedding, that's something you can consider. We've had, friends who would tell us, there's going to be a portion in our wedding where we will interact with the Zoom guests. So
That's
you might
nice.
very polite. You might want to dress up kasi
Best
magta-turn
dress for
on ng
the
camera. So, di ba, syempre, if you project the Zoom screen, di ba, let's say 10 by 20, tapos 10 by 20 din yung pajama look mo, di ba?
Yeah.
Lahi naman. But the anniversary celebration we featured last week, what they did was, they had the best dressed award sa Zoom.
That's so nice. That's
Good
nice.
idea.
The guests really, a lot of them really dressed up.
Yeah.
At may props, may wine, di ba? Meron din silang wine doon sa kanilang so yun. Pero I remember, I think it was you, no, Jen, when they had yung pre-opening of the Lugo. And Super Rooms invited a few suppliers to experience the pre-opening. Of course, talagang few lang kasi may limit yung as per IATF and DOT guidelines. No? So,
Correct,
but this
correct.
is the first time I saw Jenny after ilang months pa, ma'am?
10
10
months.
months,
Mga 10
okay?
months, yes.
So I remember that night, sabi niya, ay, ang earrings. Because I think I was wearing,
Yes, dangling.
yeah, so sabi ko, you know, Jen, because now when you go out, nakamask ka. And
True,
when you do meetings, eto na lang ang nakikita. So I'm
true.
invested actually in earrings. And that's my way of dressing up now. Diba?
That's
So,
true, that's true.
yeah, siguro yun, sagot sa tanong mo, Francis. I mean, yung point, what you pointed out, and if we have couples or would-be guests in a wedding, since eto na lang yung nakikita, or even, diba, mag-accent ng earrings.
Yeah.
Correct. Headdress, Francis, is going
Yes.
to
Dress, diba?
Great.
Or if you're going out and physically attending, i-carry yung mask. Diba?
Correct.
Yung surgical,
With the
yung
beads.
surgical medical, araw-araw mo na lang yun. Go to
That's
France.
actually-
Francis, do you have a line of formal masks?
Yeah, we do. Sometimes it's already part of the dress. So gusto nila pero na
Dress.
yung ano eh,
Naka-pair.
yung mask nila and ano. And I would always tell them to put their dates at the back. It's a remembrance as a as a pandemic bride and groom.
Right.
So for them to
Right.
keep, it's just a memorabilia that it happened during that time.
Yes. That's actually also what we received when
Right
we
now
were
nga, you
invited
need
to
to
a
practice how
wedding.
to smile with your eyes.
Oh yes.
Smiles.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah. I think also social media. Of course, social media has been big in the past years, but everybody has really learned to use social media also, whether in business or I think even in your personal milestones. Right?
Correct.
We're seeing so much more people do announcements, diba? Very creative announcements of getting engaged, or whether it's getting married or having a baby on social media, diba? And they say that this is something that is going to keep happening this year.
Yeah.
The big announcements on social media. Because there are some couples who who are not as public when it comes to, let's say, the details of their wedding, right? That they're, maybe there are some couples who won't live stream it, but they'll say later on, "Oh, we've already gotten married. Thank you for all your well wishes." And so that's also part of the aesthetic, I think. That's also part of, making sure everything is beautiful and also worthy of your feed. Next naman.
Charisse, I have a question for you because, yun nga, well, sila Jenny, no? Meron na silang behind the scene preparation. Anytime there's a go signal, game na, di ba, Jenny? Well, in the case of an event stylist, sila Claravall, and the designer, si Francis Libiran, yung pre-work, most of the work for the wedding happens before the wedding day itself. Diba? So yung protocols ninyo, Francis and Jo, it's really before the wedding day itself. And even with your Jo, during the setup, wala kayong masyadong interaction with the client, the bride and groom, and the guests, because you come in way ahead of everyone. Once you're done, you move out.
Yeah.
So, pero ang photographer, of course, you can do the online thing sa mga meetings, no? Mga production meetings, Char. There is no way that you cannot physically be there during
So
the
what
event
happens
itself.
is, well, they're on, if ever like for kids shoot or maternity shoots, talagang naka-PPE, no, and naka-mask, and the minimum safety protocols. But for weddings, since syempre talagang closely lalapit talaga sila sa bride and groom, more and more of our couples actually opt to have them tested. Swab, yung photo and video team, and I think it's just really important these days, especially ngayon, di ba? Parang pamura na ng pamura yung swab test. Nagsimula sa parang mask lang yan, di ba? Nagsimula sa magkano, ngayon magkano na lang. So, I always encourage my couples na, pwede naman talaga magpa-swab test doon
Yes.
on-site, no? Before
True.
pumasok yung suppliers at yung guests. And talagang pinapasok na sa budget. Kasi nga, hindi na siya mahal ngayon, di ba? Parang nasa 800 na lang sa per head. So, pwede na talagang ilaban ng couples. And, you know, you can celebrate safely and with much peace of mind. So, that's what's usually happening right now, Sharon. Pinapatest nila yung team. And yeah, we're good with that. So yung mga team ko talaga, as in, my gosh, as in every other day ata nagsuswab test.
Sanay na.
Every yung mga nose, ha?
Sanay na.
Oo, sanay na. Okay.
Is this something that you require from your clients?
No, I don't. It's not something that, you know, sabihin ko talaga na parang ano siya, non-negotiable. Hindi naman ganon. It's something we advise them to do, but it's still really up to them. At the very least, kung hindi nila gagawin, okay lang naman kasi we still manage to do the safety protocols like social distancing or naka-mask, naka-face shield, 'di ba? And I always tell naman my team na hindi mo naman talaga hawakan yung couple kailangan, 'di ba? Pwede mo namang sabihin from
distance naman.
2 meters apart, meter apart. So wala namang problema doon. And you know, so far okay naman, safe naman. As I've said, we've been doing weddings. Wala namang na-infect or whatever. So safe naman talaga.
Right.
And because I think there's an ongoing, but of course that's a different topic. Baka one day we'll all come back and discuss about it. Kasi there's an ongoing, hindi naman debate, pero discussion about that na itetest ng suppliers pero hindi itetest ng guests. So asan ang katarungan doon, di ba? Di ba? When in fact, because there's this couple I'm helping out, they're really more keen on testing the guests. Kasi sabi nila, the suppliers are professionals. They know how to move in an event. But the guests are the ones who will be approaching us at sila yung nakakakalimot ng mga protocols. So sabi nila, if they want to test the guests, sabi ng mga suppliers, sanay na sanay, di ba? The ones that they have. Ito yung komento ko sa iyo, Charisse. So, sila, sabi na, our photographer, nice print yan. Alam namin how they work. They're very professional in handling pandemic weddings. So, kaya tinatanong ko lang, is this something you require or this is actually up to the couple to decide?
We usually, with our staff, so we do testing like on a weekly basis because syempre we protect our employees too. For us, it's face to face and may touch kami sa brides and sa grooms. So we make sure that our employees are, syempre umuwi yan sa kanilang bahay. So hindi ko alam, after the office, kung saan pa sila gumagala. So the best way to really protect them also is to test them on a regular basis. We do, safe then when our brides and grooms would visit us.
I think this pandemic has hit everybody, not just suppliers, couples, everyone. So, parang as much as you are safe, they need to be safe. We all have to be safe, diba? Parang it's a team effort.
It's everyone's responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's becoming a norm. It's becoming a norm in all the suppliers, the antigen. So even hotels now, we're starting to set up our own for convenience of guests. They can have their antigen in the property. We are on our way to doing that. Hopefully by next month, it should be up and running.
Right.
That's good to know. But I'd like to point out some viewers that test negative. Again, sabi nila, apat dapat. There's a campaign now, apat dapat. It's not just the testing. You have to put on the mask. Okay, so that's the second. Always put on the mask. Sanitize regularly. Wash your hands if water and soap is available. Or yung at least 70% yung alcohol. So, and then sanitize and then maintain social distancing. So, even if we all test negative, huwag po na mag-beso-beso.
Yes, that's our reminder, of course. Our friendly reminder here at the Love Wins Live Forum. Yes, you may test your guests. Yes, you may test your suppliers, but please be reminded that this does not allow you to unmask during your events.
True.
It's just it's testing is an additional safety
Safety
protocol, but
protocol.
not the
Mm-mm.
standard for you. So please do always remember. I think that's, you know what, maybe that's something you can put on your tables. Hindi ba before we would put mga these little notes on the tables of, di ba, the reception na, hello,
Mm-mm.
we're so glad you're here. Maybe now you can put the safety protocols on
Yeah.
the table. And you know, personally, I think those are some of the changes I've seen. Alcohol na po yung nakalagay sa table ngayon sa wedding. So, and then masks. We were all given masks, formal masks, for everybody who was invited to the on-site wedding. And of course, you know, kahit na you want to beso the bride and groom.
That's part of the giveaway.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's part of the giveaway, diba?
Sanitary kit is the
Yes.
Envelope,
new
diba?
trend.
For the
Or
process.
yeah, naka-envelope. It's
Envelope
all
for the
there.
mask, or where you put your
And sometimes
face
it's
shield.
sometimes it's personalized pa.
You
Yes.
can make it beautiful.
Yeah, even I think now there are people who are making embellished face shields, ganyan, no? I've seen it on
Yeah.
ninangs. It's very, very cute. You know, for your ninang attending a wedding,
Yeah.
pearls and all these crystals. So,
Yeah. Ako personally, Rona, I would like to share this reminders to all, because we've been reminded on the minimum health and safety protocol. But more than that, I think let's be responsible. Let's not go out of our houses if we're not feeling
Yeah.
well. Yun yung
Right.
pinakauna talaga. Because no matter how much ingat you have in wearing mask, in wearing shield, in washing your hands, if from the start yung immune system was down, stay at home, rest, and that will protect you. At the same time, you protect others. Yun ang
Right.
pinaka, I think, very very basic na dapat natin i-follow.
And
That's
and
true. Thank you
that's
for that, Jen.
yes. And I think that's also very important if you do have, especially if you're planning to attend the gathering, diba?
Oo.
Try as much as possible to really just stick to the essential trips out.
Correct. That's
Diba?
true.
Ayaw mo
That's
naman
true.
na nag-RSVP ka sa wedding and then
Oo.
somewhere along the way you find out, oh, I can't go because I was exposed or something like that.
Correct. Oo.
Before,
That's true. Sometimes
so,
kasi people feel obligated because nag-RSVP na ako,
Right.
I've prepared, so you show up. In the prior to pandemic, yeah, we can do that. Especially if it's a close relative or family members getting married. But at this time, keep yourself safe, and then by doing that, you're keeping others
Safe as well.
Yes.
Joe, I think you wanted to say something.
well, para funny thought lang. Before you wanted to show your love and your concern to people by going to a wedding, diba? Pero now, if
True.
you feel sick, don't go. And that's showing love.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's shifting. It's shifting. The way we show love is shifting.
Mm-mm.
So before, of course, I want to thank, of course, Miss Jenny, Joe, Charisse, and Francis for really sharing your time with us this morning. I know it's the weekend, so a lot of you are busy. It's the weddings are happening again, and also it's the morning. So, thank you for getting up
Actually,
for
sarap oo.
Oo, alam niyo naman ako.
Ganyan
Ka ba morning?
ganyan tayo.
Para morning.
Oh my God.
Ang aga ng call time, Charisse, no?
I know,
Ganyan niya
right?
tayo kamahal.
Sabihin,
Jordan,
starting
my
voices natin lahat.
Si Francis,
Ganyan tayo
talaga
kamahal ni
tinapos
Charisse.
ano ang oras ko, di ba, Francis?
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, of
Jordan.
course, really for
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, your thoughts. But before we let you go, we just want to ask one last round of just your tips, very quick tips you might want to give brides and grooms. Whether it's yes, sorry, go ahead.
And how they can get in touch with you
Yes, and
if
how they
they have very specific questions about wedding planning na kayo yung concern?
Yes. Let's start with Miss Jenny.
Yes. Okay. For me, times have changed. But this should not stop us from celebrating life, celebrating love. So, for the brides and the grooms, get married, but keep it simple and safe. Um, you shouldn't. This pandemic life together as husband and wife. So for inquiries, you know that we're ready for you. Please dial our landline, our trunk line at 800 8080, or you can email us at events_inquiry@codmanila.com. So I hope we'll have more and more brides and grooms for the year 2021. And I hope to see all of you very soon in person. Maybe we can try another restaurant at City of Dreams, Manila. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Francis?
For my brides and grooms, I would always advise them to they could still have their dream wedding. So sometimes they would tell me na para bang with everything that's happening, how can we celebrate our union with this type of, sabi ko, you could still have it. Actually, I would always shift it to being more intimate and mas fun nga because ang mga kasama mo, puro mga family mo and close to you. So that's the best way to celebrate your weddings, you know. And for the brides naman who, they're very picky when it comes to the style and everything. We have the Francis and bridal so that they could try on their wedding gowns. Some brides would only prepare a month before their weddings because they would always get the available date sa church and sa venue. So we have the Francis Libiran bridal for them to try on the gown. So it's worry free for them. It's really creating solutions for the problems dun sa mga when it comes to weddings for them. So you just rest assured that everything will be okay and you could still have a good and very happy wedding.
Thank you, Francis.
Thank you, Francis. Charisse, good morning.
Good morning again. I'll pick up from what Francis said, no? Na parang more and more couples actually get married now na medyo mas mabilis yung time frame. And you know what? It's actually very doable. We've been doing that for the past months, no, Francis? Medyo mas mabilis na talaga sila mag-decide ngayon. Like, okay, 2 months na lang kakasal na.
Right.
Yan, that's another trend na nagbago. And, to the brides and grooms that are actually watching, I just want to say that, yes, it's something that's being done already. So, huwag kayo matakot. This is the reason why these wedding professionals are here to actually help you plan that the best way possible. Kahit hindi ganun kahaba yung time frame nyo, kayang-kaya yan. And secondly, Sharon, Rona, I just, parang na-remember ko lang when we had this kind of Zoom meeting last year, right? That was,
May.
what was that?
May 20.
Oh my God. I mean, I just feel like I just want to share that we are actually in a better state already.
Times now,
Diba?
yeah.
To all those who's watching, not just to the bride and groom, to my co-wedding suppliers, that the best is yet to come, and better days are really here na, diba? With the vaccine already ready, and we're just waiting for it. Para bang the hope is really here, no? Last year kasi parang talagang sobrang gloomy and we didn't know when was the vaccine going to come and all that. Pero now that it's here, talaga namang mabubuhayan ng loob lahat ng tao. That, to everybody watching, that, it's actually here. And we just have to be really grateful that, diba, we've come this far. And yeah, like what I said, diba, we lasted throughout the pandemic and it's finally ending soon. And, I'm just totally happy that we are where we are right now. But, let's stay safe and, we'll see each other again in person sooner than we thought.
Yes.
Thank you, Charisse. Miss Jo.
Okay, so keep on planning your wedding. Rest assured it will be beautiful. I mean, brides have been planning their wedding all their lives. Eh? Parang I think they were planning it since they were little kids, like little girls. So what's stopping you from having a wedding? This is just a pandemic. It's not the end of the world. We all have to
True.
work around this, right? We all have to work around it. Let's all be safe. Let's all support each other. I think brides should just keep their faith that we as suppliers will help them out and we'll make their dreams come true. So just keep the faith and the flowers will bloom and they'll be on your table soon.
Yeah.
And so if they want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so my links, the inquiry address are in my bio, but it's Claravall, double L, at gmail.com and ramongalicia.stylebyjoe@gmail.com. Please look at the Instagram page at Claravall, that's the handle, and please go to Facebook. It's Event Stylist : Claravall. So send inquiries there as well.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good Saturday and
Thank
keep safe.
you.
Stay safe. Love
Stay
wins.
safe.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
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 Bye.